Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Teaching English on Dروس Mega Goal 3. Okay, before we start our class today, we'd like to review the plan of our class today. First, we're going to introduce the project, which is going to be on page 32, and it is mainly on presentation, how to give presentation. Next, we are going to introduce the reflection section, which is the last section of this unit, Unit 2. And at the end of this class, we're going to review 5 irregular verbs as usual. And now let's talk about the activities that we studied in this unit, Unit 2, which is titled Crime Doesn't Pay. You know, we have 13 sections or 13 activities in this unit as usual, and all the units have the same number of activities. And today, inshallah, we are going to end up with activity number 12, which is a project, and number 13, which is a self-reflection, or it is called feedback. Okay, the project of today is about presentation, as you will see now, how to make good presentation. Now, choose and research one of the following topics. You will be given 3 topics, and you need to choose one of them to make a presentation or to make a research about. Number 1, famous crimes. Do you know any famous crimes? Have you ever seen a famous crime, or have you ever read about famous crime, or have you ever seen a movie about famous crimes? You can imagine that and talk about it, okay? Or listen to the instructions we are giving you to how you are going to present or to make this project. Crimes. What are crimes? Crimes are illegal activities, activities that are not legal, okay? Next, number 2, the other option is famous frauds. What are famous frauds? Frauds is an act of deceiving someone of for personal gain or damage to another individual. That is called frauds. Okay. Option number 3, famous blunders. What are blunders? Blunder is a bad mistake that is caused by carelessness. Okay. Next. Now, what are the famous crimes, what are the famous frauds, and what are the famous blunders that you are going to research and to make a presentation about? These are some pictures that can tell you about frauds and about burglary and about crimes in general. Okay? Now, number 2, the second instruction here, work in pairs or groups. Whenever you want to make a project in general, it's better not to work alone, not to work individually. It's better to work in pairs. And better than that also if you work in a group, because in a group that will make more cooperation and more collaboration as well. So collect information from different sources and make notes in your organizer. If you work in a group, that means you are going to have more resources and better organizing than if you work alone, and your work also will be easier for you as well. Next, use your notes to prepare PowerPoint presentation or poster. Now we're talking mainly about how to make a PowerPoint presentation and how to deliver it, how to make it better and how to make it attractive to your audience. Next, now the instructions here to make a presentation. You need to select photos, pictures, or design or draw your own if you want to choose from outside, or you can design it yourself. Next, plan what you are going to present and in what order. The order of this presentation and what are the things that you are going to mention and to say and to explain. Next, prepare your texts. You need to prepare your texts to get them ready. Bullet points like these ones, we call them bullet points. Slogans, also you need to make short statements, descriptions, and or accounts. Okay. Next, when you finish, share your work with your friends so that they can judge it, or they can give you a constructive feedback and can improve it to give you more chances to improve your work. Collate your material and prepare. Gather them and prepare them to be ready for presentation, and rehearse and then present in class. Rehearse, that means you need to try it with your family members, for example, or with your colleagues or with your friends, okay? And now here are the three options: crime, fraud, or blunder. Sorry, blunder. Choose the one that you are going to talk about. And after you choose what you are going to talk about, you need to remember the 5 W's that we told you when we talked about writing. Whenever you want to speak, whenever you want to write or to make a presentation in general, you need to remember these 5 W's. Okay, because if you mention these 5 W's, that means your presentation or your speak or your writing is going to be complete. What's the first one? Place. Okay, you can say where it happened, and when, time, when it happened. Who are the characters of this, or who are involved in this. Okay, next you're going to talk about why, what's the reason, and what you are talking about. Okay, these 5 W's are very important, and also you need to not to forget how, if you want to add as well. So here, what is it about? Number 1, what? Number 2, who was it involved? Means characters there. Where did it take place? The place. This is very important to mention. When did it happen? Why did it happen? And how was it resolved? Do you remember that when I told you that the best way to start your writing, if you want to tell a story, to start with the 3 W's, you can start with who, with where, and when. You mention them in your first sentence, in your topic sentence. Like, for example, if you talk about an event that happened, let's say last week, you say last week I was at home. See here, we mentioned the 3 things. That means your reader or your listener is going to be involved in this this picture, this image that you draw to him. And next, you are free now to talk about what and how. Also, you are able to talk about why. So the 3 things. Last week, when I was at home, I talked about the place, the time, and the character. Okay. Next. Okay, when you prepare a PowerPoint presentation, you have to remember you do 3 things. We'll talk about the presentation in 3 aspects. Number 1, focus on your audience. Who are the audience? These are the audience. The people who are attending and watching you, you have to focus on them. How to focus? Number 1, what the audience knows and expects. Okay, we deal with the audience as an uncountable now, so we say what the audience knows and expects. إيش يعرفون? What they expect. ماذا يتوقعون منك. So you need to be careful about what to say to them, what to present to them. Next, ways to keep them interested and engaged. You need to motivate them, and you need to attract them to listen to you and watch your presentation. Next, ways to entertain them. For example, you say a joke. Okay, you can say a joke that which attracts them and which makes your presentation attractive to them. And also you make a comment, and these are some of the ways. Next, you need to focus on the content, المحتوى. You need to focus on the content. Like, for example, you decide what you are going to talk about. The topic of your presentation is very important. Next, select and use keywords and information. You need to select the information and keywords and short statements that remind you of the topics that you are going to talk about. Also, you need to illustrate with visuals or examples. Visuals means مرئيات, صور, charts, and so on, because they are going to be attractive and they are going to be easier to demonstrate to your audience. Next, be prepared to say more than what is in your slides. Sometimes you write short statements or short sentences in your slide, but you elaborate more because you know more. But these hints or these short statements, you write them just to remind you of what you are going to say. So you need to elaborate and to say more. And the last part of this, also focus on your slides. Okay, how to design your slides. Okay, you need to include in your slides, don't include too many points on each slide. Okay, you see this slide here, you need to make as few points as possible. Okay, let's say from 4 to 5 points at least. Okay, at maximum. Don't use a small font. Don't use small font. Try to make it 32, 28 at least, and more than that. Means the font means الخط, حجم الخط. Okay, limit your points to about 4 or 5 maximum. Okay, use bullet points, charts, and graphs like what we are doing here. These are charts, as you can see here. Graphs here. These are graphs, and also you need to include charts which are timetables, جداول. Use visuals, مرئيات, صور like this to attract your audience also. Reveal the information gradually. When you want to give information to your audience, give them step by step, gradually, تدريجيا. Okay, next. Include notes in the margin if you need to a reminder of what you want to say. You have a margins. Margins mean هوامش around your slide. So if you want some notes to remind you, you can fill some of the notes there to remind you of what you are going to say. Okay, and at the end also, you need to do a trial run practice. Run practice means تجربة. Okay, using your material and software. You need to make this trial practice with your friends or with your family or with your colleagues. Okay, now we're going to the last section, which is section number 13, which is called reflection. Now, let's talk about this unit, unit 2, crime doesn't pay, and let's talk about what are the benefits that we got from it. Now, what about you? You need to answer about what you are thinking about yourself and how you achieve, how much you achieved from this unit. Number 1, write about things that you liked about unit 2. What did you like in this unit? Okay, things that you didn't like, write about them. Okay, you can write 2, 3, or 4. It's up to you. Okay, and also things that you found easy. What did you find easy in this unit? Write about things that you found difficult also. What are the things that you found difficult and you couldn't understand? If you mention them here, you can go back to them at the end of the term of the semester to know what are the weak points and what are the strong points in studying this unit. Also now we need to check our goals. These are the goals of unit 2. Okay, and if you achieved the goal, that means you make a tick here. I can do this very well. If you cannot do it very well, say I can do this quite well, not that much, so you tick here. If you need study more or practice more, tick in here. Like what? What are the goals? Let's review them very quickly now. Let's talk about number 1. Can you discuss crime and punishment? You can discuss crime and punishment. You talk about crimes, الجرائم. You can talk about them. العقاب, punishment. Can you describe it? This is a very important goal, which can appear in your writing and your speaking also. Now read and discuss newspaper articles. If you read an article, do you think that you will be able to understand and to discuss what the content is and what it is about? Okay, now you write the tick according to your achievements. Explain steps in process. If you want to talk about a process, first, second, third, do you think that you are able to do that in your speaking and in your writing? Okay, now use passive. Are you able to use the passive form that we talked about? Like for example, if you say, I drive a car, how can you make the sentence into a passive form? You say, a car is driven. A car is driven. Can you do that? And if it is in the past, if you say, I drove a car, can you make the sentence passive? Can you say, a car was driven? If you can't do that, that means you tick here. If you're not very much good in that, tick in here and so on. Next, use the simple past tense. Can you use the simple past tense of the verb be? Use was and were. Can you do that? Okay, I'm asking you. Use regular and irregular verbs in the past. الأفعال الشاذة والأفعال النظامية. Like go, what's the past of go? Went, what's the past participle of go? Gone. Go, went, gone. Drive, drove, driven. And play, played, played. Can you use these forms of the verb? Okay, and also use to and would. Use to, the things that you were doing before, or you did before, but now no longer doing it right now. Okay, can you use that? And also, last part is use the past simple versus the past progressive. If you talk about the two tenses in the past, okay, like the past simple and the past progressive, like if you talk about something you did a long action in the past, like for example, if you say, I was reading a book when my friend called me. I was watching TV when my brother came. So you have two actions, one long action and one short action. So you know the differences between the past simple and the past progressive. Okay, what are your favorite words that you learned from this unit? We have so many words in this unit, but you need to write at least 5 of these words that you learned new. And here, if you are still not sure about something from unit 2, read through the unit again. Go back to the unit and study it. Okay, listen to the audio material. Study the grammar and functions from the unit again. Ask your teacher to help. Okay? And now the last part of today is the irregular verbs as usual. To finish with today, inshallah. Swim. What's the past of swim? The past of swim is swam, and the past participle is swam. He swims daily. He swam yesterday, and here we are using it in the past present perfect. He has swum. Okay, take. What's the past of take? Took, and the past participle is taken. He takes a photo. Now look at him. He takes a photo, or he is taking. If you are talking about now, he's taking a photo. But if it is a habit, we say he takes photo. In the past, last week, he took a photo. And if we want to talk about a photo as a passive, okay, we say here a photo is taken. A photo is taken. Or we can use it in the past. A photo was taken. Or we can say a photo has been taken also. Okay, teach. يعلم, يدرس. What's the past? Taught, and the past participle is taught. So Ali teaches Sami. Ali يدرس Sami. In the past, Ali taught Sami. In the past participle, we use it as a passive form. As I told you, the past participle form can be used in the passive and can be used in the present perfect or the past perfect as well. So here, since Sami is the object here, we can say Sami is taught. Now, Sami is taught. In the past, Sami was taught. يدرس. Okay, this is a passive. Number 49, tear, tore, torn. Okay, how do you use it in a sentence? Here, يمزق, like this sheet here. He tears a sheet. He tore a sheet. If we talk about the sheet, we say a sheet is torn. Okay, think, thought, يفكر. So he thinks of leaving. He thought of leaving. And the last one, he has thought of leaving. And that's all for today. Thank you very much, and see you inshallah in our next episode. Goodbye.